Welcome to the Real Estate Real Success podcast, where we talk about key business successes and lessons learned along the way in the hopes of inspiring brokerage owners and managers to find new ways to grow their business. I'm Chiyoko Kikino, and in this episode, we're going to talk about some marketing ideas that have helped drive growth and brand awareness for our brokerage. Actually, at the end of this podcast, you're going to walk away with 10 marketing ideas that you can take and implement into your own market. I am super excited to be joined by Mike Seiler. He is the owner of Century 21 In-Studio Realty in Owen Sound, Ontario. Mike, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, Chiyoko. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off, Mike, by giving everyone a little bit about your background and your journey into real estate.
All right. So my adult career life can really be divided into 2.5 segments. My first half, I was a bread man, an independent distributor for Weston Bakeries. That's when I met my wife, Monica, and I went to work with her father. That lasted about 10 years, and then we moved to the Grey Bruce, the Owen Sound area, at which point I started a photography, real estate virtual tour business. And I realized soon enough that I couldn't make a living off of the real estate agents in my area. And so, you know, the saying, if you can't beat them, you join them. So I got my real estate license back in October of 2013. And I started with another brand. And about 4 years into it, I decided to break off from that brand and from the team that I was with and start Century 21. So I've been with Century 21 In-Studio Realty for just about 5 years now.
Great. And I know the Grey Bruce area, Owen Sound, is kind of a big, kind of spread out area. So maybe you want to tell our listeners where Grey Bruce and Owen Sound is, a little bit about your brokerage and some of the markets that it serves.
Yeah, so the Grey and Bruce is two counties, Grey County and Bruce County, and Owen Sound is a city within Grey County. We're about 2 hours north of the GTA and an hour and a half or so west of Barrie, Ontario. And yeah, so our brokerage, there are I think there's one other or two other Century 21 franchises within the Grey and Bruce, but we're just one of them that are kind of prominent here.
So I know that you mentioned that you've been with Century 21 for about 5 years. So I have to ask, what made you decide to affiliate with the Century 21 brand when you decided to open your own brokerage?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I looked around at the other brands that were available. I'm a strong believer and a proponent just for partnering with a big brand. Even with new agents coming into the industry, I always recommend that they don't start with kind of a mom and pop or kind of a boutique brokerage. So it was really important to me to partner with a larger brand. What I loved about Century 21 at the time was just their ability to serve kind of the whole spectrum of our market. So we're not like a super high-end market. We have a lot of, century homes and, kind of middle-class homes and stuff like that. And I always felt that Century 21, the brand, was able to serve from entry-level homes all the way up to kind of medium to high-end homes.
Well, you've joined right before we had some significant changes to the brand happen. And so you, of course, joined, I think, October of 2017. So you've seen a whole bunch of changes happen, not only within our organization, but also in the industry. So tell me what some of the biggest changes that you've seen, within our organization and the industry overall.
Yeah, so obviously the biggest one was the brand change. And I was one of those brokerages, like you said, Chiyoko, as October 2017. It was probably late 2017 or early 2018 when that brand changed. I had my signage, not only for sale signs, but the actual building signage for our brokerage inside of our renovated office, ready to go out, ready to have our grand opening. And then Century 21 announced a new brand was coming. So it was kind of bittersweet. But I was kind of over the moon. I really, really loved the new brand. And just going back to the previous question, like, when I say that Century 21, it was able to serve a wide spectrum of real estate, there was actually a niche that I didn't think the old brand did particularly well with, or I didn't think would, and that was the high end. So when we talk about $1 million homes and real estate properties, I just thought that the old brand with the old yellow posts, I just didn't think people thought that was classy enough. And so when the new brand came, I actually believe that it's able to serve the entire spectrum of real estate, from entry level all the way up to multi-million-dollar real estate.
Well, Mike, you really have rolled with the punches because, as you said, you joined Century 21 late 2017. I can tell you, because I remember this clearly, in March 2018, they announced the rollout of the new brand. And in Canada, we launched it in May. So you had been in existence for 6 months, and then we completely flipped your world around, but for the good. As you said, the new brand, of course, is contemporary looking, it's sophisticated, it's clean. So I know that you've taken it and really leveraged it in your marketplace to gain brand awareness. We're going to talk about some of those things. But just before we do, talking about some of your marketing tactics and strategies, I do want to talk a little bit about your growth. So as we just mentioned, you opened your own brokerage in October 2017. You went from one office at that time, which I understand had one agent, which is probably yourself. And now you've grown to 6 offices and 36 agents. In addition, because, I've been doing some research, you've also provided me with some information, but you, out of 54 firms in the Real Estate Association of Gray and Bruce, you are currently ranked as 6th position with a 4.15% market share in the entire Gray Bruce area. And that's in, of course, less than 5 years. So congratulations. You've done a wonderful job. And we're going to talk about some of the things that you have done in order to get you there. But you've done so good. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
So tell me what you think some of the key ingredients to your growth has been.
One of the key ingredients would be carrying a consistent brand. It's probably going to be another question answer that comes up later, but one thing that I was passionate about doing when we started In-Studio was having a consistent brand. We're, like everyone in the industry knows now, that even though you belong to Century 21 or another major brand, everyone is always trying to set themselves apart and their own brand apart and differentiate. And I've always been a firm believer that once we latch on to a big, beautiful brand like Century 21, if we can be uniformed as a company, we're going to be perceived from the consumer as being much healthier and much stronger. And so that's something that we've done very well. I have a saying in the office that says, where we're consistently seen, I want to be seen as consistent. So when people go onto realtor.ca and they look at our office photos, they see all professional black and white photos. Where they see our real estate signs, all of our signs are the exact same signs that are provided by Century 21. Same with our business cards. They're all the same business cards. So when a homeowner comes home and they see, a bunch of cards on the table, they can count that the Century 21 ones will all look the same. And so that's something that's been very important. Then the second thing was we wanted to make sure that our marketing, so when the consumers look in at us and they see our photography and the way we advertise and market our listings, every part of our marketing is top notch.
Well, and I love how you said, that, making sure that you're consistent with how your brand is portrayed, no matter who's portraying the brand out there in your marketplace. And I love the words that you used, healthy and strong, because as you know, coming from a marketing background, I believe that too, right? follow the brand guidelines. There's strength in numbers, and if everyone's consistent with how the brand looks out there, it just increases the equity of all of our businesses. So I really appreciate all the stuff that you've done specifically in the Grey Bruce area. What are you doing to helping your realtors succeed and be more productive? Because I know that you provide them with a lot of support. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing to make your agents successful.
Yeah. So one thing that we've done differently, and I think we're the only brokerage within our area that has this kind of model, is we became a full service brokerage to our realtors. Kind of when I first got into real estate, I had a relatively instant success. I've always kind of been driven toward marketing and kind of that photography and graphic design, that sort of thing. And I always recognized that there was other really good realtors out there, but they weren't really they weren't necessarily good at like marketing or some of the things that I thrived at. And I always thought, at the time, I always thought that they were actually, better realtors than I was in certain ways, right? Like, I mean, I'm notoriously late. They're on time. They're like, they've been in the business a long time. They know how to do offers and all that good stuff. So when I started In-Studio, it was my vision to really help fill in all the gaps for our realtors. And so if certain realtors have weaknesses, we want to kind of like be there and strengthen them in those areas. And again, I think we'll get to some of those points throughout the podcast here. But so to become a full service brokerage to our realtors is the answer.
Well, and I know that Century 21 as a brand, provides a complete turnkey solution to real estate agents, providing them everything from websites to CRM to marketing center to social media platforms, you name it, we have it. But you do so much more to provide additional support to your agents. And you're right, we are going to get to that. But being a full service brokerage like you are really allows for your realtors, as you said, not to worry about the things they might not be great at, or things that take a lot of time to do, especially if you're not really knowledgeable how to do that. And it really allows them to focus on generating leads and providing that extraordinary level of service to their clients. So since you've provided this support, and maybe you just give us a little, a few things that you've done that you do in addition to what the Century 21 brand offers that provides your agents support. And then have you seen agents, because you provide that level of support, have you seen your agents be more successful and more productive?
Right. Yeah. So the easiest question a broker can ask themselves, especially if you're a selling broker, is, what are the pain points of being a realtor? And if the answer is like, I don't like people, or I don't like writing offers, I can't help you with that. Like, like naturally as realtors, we have to be able to engage with people and do our business side of things. But, no one really told us when we got into real estate that we had to, figure out how to, design a website. Even though Century 21 provides a good website, a lot of realtors are still frustrated with the process. And I love the websites. I think they're super intuitive. They're easy to use, but still there's a lot of realtors who are not tech savvy at all. No one ever said that you'd had to go in and, help clean a house or stage it, or what does it look like to hire a photographer or put up your own real estate sign. And so when you ask yourself, what are your pain points as a realtor, you can start to understand what our job is as a full service brokerage. We want to provide relief from every and any pain point we're able to, with the exception of writing offers. We will not do our offers or our paperwork for our agents. We provide them with a lot of ongoing training and support. So to answer your second question there, because we've taken all of this burden off of our agents, we put up the real estate signs for them. We have provided our own in-house photography and videography, staging services, all the graphic design all the ordering of marketing material, we provide all that, then really they just have to go out and acquire their clients. Once they acquire their client, let it be a listing, then they basically that, it becomes a brokerage responsibility to execute much of that marketing piece. And then, and then it's back on them to, actually sell it, and, the whole negotiation process. But again, to answer your question, the amount of success our realtors have had, out of 35 realtors, well over 50% of our realtors are new agents. We didn't start our brokerage with a team. We didn't start, by, taking half of another brokerage. We started with one brokerage, one office, and one agent, and I had to grow from there. So a lot of new agents started with us, and just within 2 and 3 and 4 years, we've had new agents that had two of our new realtors have hit double centurion in the past year. Another one was we've had another couple centurions, and then all along the spectrum of award winners, we've had several of our new realtors become award winners, and we just continue to go upward and upward. We're definitely a major kind of threat in our local marketplace because of our aggressive full service approach.
Well, you should have a Century 21 in-studio career path that you can provide realtors. It's like from 0 to centurion in 2 years. Like, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. And I'm sure they're super, super happy that they've seen so much success early on in their career. When you talk about pain points, and I love this pain points, because of course it's the marketing, right? Just kind of figure out what the pain point is, come up with the solution or the message. When you did, because you've had just under 10 years in real estate, did you just list all what you felt based on your experience, what the pain points would be? And then obviously these are the types of services that you could provide to offset those pain points, or how did you go through that process?
Yeah, I guess I just kind of made it up. There's obviously more. We're always learning as individuals and as realtors. But I mean, overall, we can kind of take an objective look. We can kind of look at successful realtors, successful teams, and kind of say, what makes them successful. I mean, you always get their marketing pieces in the mail. Their listings may always look good online, and so I feel like I'm able to, at least, and being a top producing and award winning realtor myself before I got into it, I kind of understood some basics of what it looked like to be a successful realtor, and so I guess, yeah, just trying to divide what's required for me to do and what's not. And I never, like, maybe I've talked to some brokers in the past, and I never like that kind of answer where brokers are like, it's not my job to do their job, right? And it's not, that's their responsibility. And in my opinion, if it's not being done, then I'm losing money, right? Like, as a broker owner. And so if it's not being done, I can, sit back here and just kind of point fingers and, or I can just say, hey, how can I help get it done? And so I want to, do my best to make sure that every realtor in the office is being made whole when it comes to those areas that they lack in, right?
So you're actually like working almost like your brokerage is working almost like an assistant to that real estate agent, right? So if they don't have a 100%. Team, you're kind of their team, right? To support them.
We are very much a team to our agents. Yeah. Great.
So now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's talk about marketing, and let's talk about some of your marketing strategies and tactics, because of course, that's what everyone's listening to this podcast. That's what they're waiting for. So can you tell me what some of your key marketing strategies are?
Like, kind of separate from like the tips, which we're going to get to, I guess like part of our tactic again is just to be a full service brokerage to our agents. I'm sorry, it's kind of a question that I'm not, I don't know exactly how to answer without kind of going into some strategies, but uh, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, you know what? And it's okay. I've done a ton of research on all the stuff that you do, because of course that's my specialty, marketing. And I know that with all the stuff that you've done, you look, first of all, you want to grow your brokerage, right? You want to become more successful. You want your realtors to become more successful. You want to be a leader in the Great and Bruce area, and I think that, increasing brand awareness has been kind of your key focus, as well as making your agents more productive. But I did want to talk a little bit about, increasing brand awareness, because you've gone from one office, one agent. So your brand awareness probably has gone from very minimal to quite a lot in the 5 years that you've been with the brand. So when I was doing my research on your brokerage, the one thing that I noticed, and you said this a little bit earlier, is that your brokerage produces a ton of consistent video content. So can you tell me why video is important in helping you build brand awareness and generate leads for your agents?
Yeah, it's certainly it's built into our name. That's kind of the inspiration behind In-Studio. Don't ask me exactly what In-Studio mean. It just means that we produce things in-house. Yeah, video has just always been something that I've been passionate about. I used to make my own video tours and do my own video marketing before starting Century 21, and then yeah, so it's something that it's relatively inexpensive, when compared to print and radio advertising, that sort of thing, and it's way more effective. If anyone is familiar with the book Ninja Selling, they talk about the 3 things that are required to become a successful realtor. People have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. And with video, you almost get like 2.5 of those things. Like, people like you because they see you and they get to see your personality, they get to hear your voice. They know you because they see you. And I mean, depending on the content that you're putting out, whether that's listings or information, videos, sort of things, then they might trust you as well. So with video, we're really able to reach into the hearts and minds of people from where they are, which is usually at home on their devices. So it's very cheap when you consider the amount of impressions you get, how many views you get for the amount of work. It is quite a bit of work, but I mean, yeah. So
as you said, because I'm a big believer in video too, but video helps to start that relationship when you haven't even met that person, in my opinion. So if you're out there doing video and all of a sudden then you get a lead for some way, that person might have already seen your videos and already has a good, like they already feel like they know you, right? And they have a relationship with you. So to me, it starts the relationship prior to actually meeting that person. And I think that the key to video and what you have done so well is that element of consistency, right? You're always putting out videos, because I think some of us, we do videos, maybe one video gets a lot of likes or comments or engages, and then the next one doesn't. And you're like, I wasted my time. But it's that consistent, approach to producing video and putting video out there. And, looking through, of course, all your social media channels and YouTube, I've never seen so many agents in a brokerage participate in so many videos. Like, typically agents, people general, hate doing videos. So how are you getting the majority of your agents to participate and be on video?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's one of our secret weapons, secret sauces.
Yeah.
Because we provide our video services in-house, really gives us the flexibility to work with our agents, not only on their timeline, but according to their comfort levels. And because we're so passionate about it, and because we have so much invested in it, we become our agents' coaches. We become their voice coaches, their drama coaches, or their drama teachers. and it means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. I can't tell you how many agents have said to me, no, I'm never doing a video again. Delete that video. And I push them, and we persevere, and then they continue on. So I always think about, when I interview realtors from other companies, I always ask them, how many times have you hired a photographer or a videographer outside of a listing appointment? And the answer is always never. And so, our agents have that flexibility to come into the office and say, hey, I just want to do a little video for my website, or a little tutorial video or something like that. And it's free for them. It's something that we can turn on the camera. They can see the footage. We can, redo it again. And we can just perfect it, right? And to answer your question, like, most of our agents do hate video. So there's a whole spectrum of agents, and I think it's something we'll go to next, but we have agents who get really involved in video, and they they don't need a lot of coaching, where all the other agents, we just really need to coach them to just get their intros across, right? Like, hey, my name is Mike Seiler. I'm with Century 21. Welcome to my newest listing. And then that's it. Like, it's just enough to get them in front of people, because if they're going to spend, a couple $100s on promoting their video tour out there, they're really missing thousands of views of people seeing them, right? Like, people are seeing the tours. Why not just see them saying hello, right? And a little kind of side tidbit with that, we usually encourage our agents to do intros and outros. So, and even sometimes a little video segment in the middle. So to say, hey, my name is Mike Seiler with Century 20. Welcome to my latest listing. But then at the end of the tour, provided that people have stayed to the end, they get to come back on camera and say, hey, for more information on this beautiful property, reach out to me. My name is Mike Seiler with Century 21 In-Studio Realty. And so you're really, plugging yourself twice in there.
Right, you're bookending the video. As you said, you have those agents that just, basically want to introduce themselves, and it goes into listing, and maybe they do a finale at the very end. But going through your YouTube channel and going through all of your videos, there's a lot of your agents that really bring out their personalities on video. I was watching a few of them. They're almost like commercials. Like, it's quite interesting, and they're very creative. You've done a really good job of being creative and instilling a sense of humor into your videos. So, for example, I think I watched one of the videos that, it started off with the realtor playing the drum, right? Showing her passion to what she does. There's another one that I saw that was a talking llama. And then one that I thought was super funny was, a realtor, pretends that he's sleeping at his new listing to get a better feel for the place. I know it was just a pretend, but it was really cute. And so you've got all these creative ideas. Does your team or you come up with the creative ideas, or does the realtor come up with those ideas?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix. Once we get agents past that, comfort point, and they look forward to being on camera, and they're getting good feedback from their peers and the consumers out there, then people naturally want to start to get a little bit creative. But there are a few realtors in our office who we don't need to tell them, they come with their ideas, and we support that. We do have some limitations, time limitations, but for the most part, the idea is that, if it's going to take us an hour to shoot a video, and it takes an extra 15 minutes to shoot a fun intro, then it just adds to that likability factor, right? Where consumers, our realtors are getting hired all the time, and they're being noticed because of their videos, and clients are saying, hey, I've seen your videos, I love them, and I've really felt connected with you. And just kind of what you're saying, right? Like, they know you before they've ever met you. And so the creativity, I'm a creative person. I do love the creative element of it. I'm even finding, though, with a lot of my realtors who have started to become creative, they don't want to hear my ideas anymore. They're just like, and then other realtors, they're like, come on, give me an idea or something. And I've used my kids as actors in some agent video tours, and so whatever it is, it just kind of changes things up a little bit. We like to say that our video tours are more to promote the agent rather than the property. I mean, we do photography and we do 360 tours and floor plans. All those are really for that intuitive, or like, people who are really investigating a property. The video tour is meant to be more of a commercial. It's meant to, lighten people up a little bit.
Well, and I like that, and specifically, the ones that are really creative at the beginning, whether it's a talking llama or whether it's someone playing a drums, or I think I saw someone, in a canoe. If I'm going through my Facebook, Instagram, and I'm seeing that happen, I'm going to stop much more than, maybe just a general, introduction, right? So I really think you've done a great job, and your realtors out there, to all of them that might be listening, they've done a really, really great job. So I just want to switch a little bit and talk about your online presence, because you're really good at this area too. So how important is it for brokerages and realtors to have a strong online presence? And what are you doing to achieve this?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm very thankful for the new web platform that was provided by Century 21 through MoxieWorks, which is we utilize the WordPress platform, which gives us an enormous amount of flexibility, the ability to be creative and really customize our websites, but also to build in SEO and a lot of data into our websites that help us rank on Google. Yeah, just, we've spent a tremendous amount of time, effort, and money when it comes to staffing and that sort of thing into building out our website and building content in our website, because at the end of the day, you like the websites look good by themselves, but if we want to be found and start to rank above our competitors, we need to start to build content that people are intentionally searching for. Yeah, that's one area, just like really investing in our website. And then the other area, which is part of one of my tips, is your Google presence when it comes to like Google Maps and stuff like that. So we're really big on reviews, and that's something that, again, is one of my tips. But do not forget about getting your Google reviews. I see so many brokerages out there, not just Century 21, all across the board. I find them on Google and they have one review, and usually it's a bad review. So I always say that the only bad review is an unsolicited review. If you really made a customer upset, they're going to go out of their way to leave you a bad review. If you really did good by a customer or client, chances are they don't think about going on and giving you a review, but they'd be more than happy to give you a review if you go and ask for it. So we ask for reviews, and combined between our different offices, and especially with our different agents, we have hundreds of online Google reviews, and we get business because of it. We get business for our reviews.
Well, and I do this all the time when I'm looking for, let's just say, a service provider or something that I know nothing about. I Google them, and the first thing I do is look at how many reviews they have. And I actually will choose someone with a lower star rating that has more reviews than a high star rating with less reviews. I do that in recipes all the time. I go and Google recipe, and then I'm like, oh no, I'll take the 4.51 at 362 reviews, because more people have done it, not the 5-star with one review.
Right, exactly.
So yeah. I think that, as you say, it's important to get those reviews. Let's now switch again, because I know we want to get to those top 10 tips. I know that you're always finding ways to promote the brand. You're probably one of the biggest brand ambassadors that we have within this network. Can you tell us some of the things that you are doing or have done to get the brand out there in the marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, I look at your computer in the background and the C21 seal. When we first came out with the C21 seal, I went to a local printer and I got a couple hundred vinyl stickers and I held a promotion in the community where people would stop by the brokerage and get a sticker and put it on their gas cap. And I forget what the prize we gave away, but yeah, I think community involvement has always been something that we've been strong in. I held a basketball free throw competition for a couple of years. But yeah, in terms of, brand awareness, we just, I think, yeah, just being in the community has been something big for us.
And I know you're always looking at those little things like, branded merchandise and stuff like that you can use to get the brand out there. But I really, really like the sticker idea. Even if, people didn't want to place it onto their car, you could even do almost a static sticker, because you can buy those now online, and, doing some sort of contest around that. I really love that idea. So, I'm not quite sure if it's one of your top 10 tips, but I like that idea. So people should write that down. So you've got so many great ideas, probably so many successes. If you had to narrow it down, what has been your biggest marketing success?
Going back, honestly, to when I say about being consistent in the brand, that is the biggest for me. If and it's very hard if you don't start off like that. I look at my competitors, and unfortunately, I have to look at my other owners out there with Century 21, and I know that it's an uphill battle to try to get back to a consistent brand. But then I look at my local competitors, the other brands, and I say, I'm so excited that when people drive down the road and they see our signs, they see a consistent brand, where all of the other brands, all of the major brokerages in our area, all of our competitors, all of their signs are all different. Like, no one has the same sign out there, and and they can't go back. It's next to impossible, right? Like, how do you say to high producers or top producers, like, well, we need you to go back and, be uniform with the rest of the office, and they would leave in a heartbeat, right? And so it's that has been our biggest success. I'm very proud of it.
So just continue to talk about your biggest success. As you said, it's hard for brokerages because realtors do want to express their personal brand in so many different ways. So how do you get all of your realtors to rally around the brand and be consistent out there in the marketplace?
Yeah, part of it starts off as because when you're a new realtor and you're coming into it, you don't really know much better. It's just a non-negotiable when you come in through the door. These are the non-negotiables. Are you allowed to express yourself through your own marketing materials and your website? 100%, right? But it's just the few things from the signs, business cards, that we want to make sure that we're very unified. Same with the Take One flyers on the real estate signs; they're all consistent as well. But I think it comes back to just being are the pep talks that we give as owners, right? To really try to instill that belief and that knowledge into the team. And if you do that well, then they'll buy into it. And so that's something that I've just been passionate about from day one, telling them, you get to a point where you're successful and you want to set yourself apart. But all of our agents really have to just count their blessings, right? If they're making into those centurion and double centurion, it's hey, you're doing really well. Obviously you did really well, not having a different sized sign that had different colors on it, right? That had nothing to do with it. Everything else, from your presence and your marketing techniques and stuff like that, that's what it was, not your sign. All right.
Well, and as you say, that you're showing success, right? Success is coming to those people, once they follow the guidelines that you set in place. So I think that's great. I know we're going to get to the 10 tips. I have one more question before the 10 tips, and that I know you're always trying new things. I've seen it all on your social media. I've followed you for many years. I want to know about some of the marketing ideas that you had that you might have failed at. Have you failed?
Yeah, I say, you hear those motivational speeches like Colonel Sanders, if he didn't knock on that 50th door, then we wouldn't have Kentucky Fried Chicken kind of thing. I wish you didn't knock on that door. I think KFC is a bad thing for the world. But anyway, the point yeah, I failed a lot. I'm a huge failure in so many things, I'm actually proud of that. Of course I am. I love to I love getting up, and because with every failure you learn stuff, and so next time you try something, you're taking the things you've learned. And now specifically, we tried to host a kidpreneur show or a kidpreneur event that failed. We didn't even get to the finish line in terms of launching the event. It just became overwhelming. I right now I'm in the middle of a Trade 21 program where I started with do I have it handy? One of our Century 21 keychains, and I've traded it up so far to a T-Zone vibration machine, which is like behind me off to the right. It's valued at like $3,000. So if you've ever seen like the TED Talk where the guy traded up a paper clip to a house, I want to do the same thing, trade up a C21 keychain up to whatever I could get after 21 trades. Again, I think I'm on like trade 5 or 6. Is it a failure? Kind of. I'm too busy right now, and no one will trade me.
No one will trade you.
But and again, the whole idea there was to trade and then eventually take that final item and sell it off and donate all the proceeds to local charities. And it's just really hard sometimes. It's hard to get like the radio. Like every time you do something free or good like that, you try to get free publicity with it. So I'm calling the radio. I'm like, give me some free advertising. Like, give me your money. And and I'm contacting local charities. I'm like, I'm going to give you all this money. Would you help me get the word out? And they're like, yeah, sure. Right. And it's until you get up to, and you have to persevere, right? Because like I'm at that T-Zone machine, but as soon as I get up to like, $100,000 Corvette, then I'm going to get the call from the radio, right? They're like, oh, we've been following you, and now we're interested in, giving you some airtime, right? And so it's just really important to like, persevere and push through. One of my favorite quotes is Napoleon Hill that says, one of the greatest causes of failure is one's habit of giving up when they're temporarily overcome by defeat, right? And so if I just stop right now, that next win might be that win that pushes me, over the edge. So that's something that I'm kind of passionate about, just trying to persevere. And if you can't do it yourself, get someone to help you.
Well, that's a great message. And I think it's a great lesson learned, persevere through everything. So let's, we're coming up to time. And I want to spend some time on these top 10 tips, because these are the top 10 marketing ideas that people can walk away from this podcast and they can actually take and implement into their own markets. So give us your top 10 ideas. I know you've put some effort into summarizing this for us, so we really appreciate it in advance.
Yeah. So when I give kind of these tips, they're really going to summarize what we are as a brokerage as well. So, I mean, we could have just almost started this backward and you would understand a lot about our brokerage. But the first tip is to become a team for your real estate agents. And so if you listen to any kind of real estate coach, they'll say after you make a certain amount of money, you should be getting an assistant or something like that. If you look at any successful real estate team, you'll know that they might brag about having an in-house stager or their own photographer, videographer on staff. They might have their own assistant. And so my recommendation and what we do in the office is we staff those people. I have 2 full-time photographers. I have a full-time graphic designer. I myself am a full-time broker, but also a photographer and videographer. And we provide a whole slew of services for our agents. And for us, that's part of our split. But for a brokerage who doesn't have a strong split, you might employ those people and charge back for those services. But having those services in-house provides you with an exceptional advantage. So going back to the photographer and videographer, that's our strong suit. If you do go that route, make sure you invest in really good gear, really good training, and make sure that you're able to provide all of your agents quality video tours, intros, interviews in the community, that sort of thing. So that's my first one. So, and we also have an in-house stager who's one of our realtors, but she provides services for all of our agents, and I compensate her for her time. The second one is to provide support to your agents. That's kind of part and parcel to having an in-house admin. But one thing we do for our realtors is we do mailings for them. So every realtor in the room, every broker knows the value of farming, or they know at least what the term means. We consistently, like if Choco were to check right now, even just being a brokerage that's 35 strong, we probably do more, or probably in the top 10 mailings of all the brokerages across Canada. The amount of mailings we do through Canada Post is off the chart. We send out thousands and thousands of mail pieces every single week. And the reason why we do that, I guess, or let me just go back. Like as a realtor, you might know the value of sending out mail pieces when you get a new listing, when you want to farm an area. But as soon as you get busy, everyone knows that you stop doing those things. And so with our realtors, we have them commit up front. Like several of our realtors, they say every time I get a listing, I want to send out 1,000 mail pieces to the area around the house for sale. We do that for them. So they never have to say that again. We just do it. As soon as a listing hits the board, we design the flyer, we order it, we mail it out, and then we charge them back for the cost of the mail pieces. So do mailings for your team. It is huge. I am so proud to say that, our brand hits people's mailboxes every single week in the thousands and, hundreds of thousands every year. The next one, kind of similar, is to run lead gen campaigns through social media. So you can, like fill out this form on Facebook, sort of lead gen campaign, or create a form on your website and sponsor that on Google. And when those leads start coming in, you can disperse them to your team, or you can charge them back. So running lead gen campaigns. We actually, when we first started doing this on Facebook, we'd run ads like receive daily or weekly notifications of new homes for sale in this area, priced between this price and this price. And usually you pick a price, you don't want to pick it too low, but you want to pick this price where where that active market is, because especially in the seller's market that we've experienced over the past couple of years, there's not a lot of inventory. In our first week of starting this lead gen campaign, we were receiving hundreds of buyer leads that we actually burnt all of them. Like we give them to our agents, and they didn't know what to do with them, sort of thing. But and with buyer lead gen campaigns like that, like you guys will all be wishing that you would be running them and attracting those buyers yesterday, because tomorrow, when the market starts to cool off and we start to get more listings out there, you're going to wish you had all those buyers in your quiver. So same idea, but completely different, is to run ads for your team. And so most agents know how to hit the boost button on Facebook. Most agents have no idea how to run their ads on YouTube. And YouTube is far better, in my opinion, than Facebook right now, because everyone knows how to do Facebook. Everyone's inundated with ads on Facebook. It's every fourth ad. Everyone has to watch that 5-second or 10-second intro before they watch their YouTube video. And when they see a local realtor show up there, and kind of like what Chioko was saying, when they see that local realtor go by on a canoe or on a horse or something, they may just sit there and, like, how many people just kind of can't wait to click next, right? But when they see that horse go by, they might just pause and watch it. And in fact, they do. So run ads for your team. I say it to my office manager here. It's like, we want to make sure that every single video that gets produced in our office is being sponsored out there. It drives me nuts to see one of our videos being made only have 50 or 100 views. I want it to have at least a couple thousand views on YouTube, right? And so we have to, all it takes is for us to call our agent and say, hey, can we run an ad for you? We'll charge you back on your statement. They're like, you'll do that for me? Sure, right? If you call the agent and say, hey, run your own ad, they're going to be like, I don't know how to, I don't have the time. And it's wasted. The house sells in a few days, and all of a sudden they can't sponsor it anymore anyway, and it's a wasted lead. The next one thing I'm passionate about as well is to make it easy for your agents. So I love the idea of purchasing merch, whether that's jackets, t-shirts, hats, toques, keychains, like I dangled up before, like purchase this merch and just charge it back to your agents. Like, how many of your agents in your office are walking around branded? And if they're not, they're really missing those organic conversations in the grocery store and that sort of thing. And they just, again, you can say, well, it's not my job, or you can just go up to the local embroiderer and say, hey, I'll buy 50 of these black tees, throw Century 21 on them, bring them in the office. It's a little bit of an investment, but it's your company, right? It's your company that's going to grow in your local area, and you want it to be advertised out there. The next one is kind of like make it easy, but also incentify. So you might say to your agents that you'll cover the cost of embroidery, or you might even cover the cost of like a simple sticker or branding that they could put on their vehicle. So have like a simple, like for our first year, we the C21, how we had the gas caps, we also made a larger version, about 1.5 feet, and we had half of our office stick those stickers right on the door of their car, and it was kind of cool. They look like race cars all of a sudden, right? Like the C21, and that was just something like they literally cost us like $10 a piece, and I stuck them on myself. They were super easy to put on. You spray some water, stick it on, let it dry, peel it off, it was done, right? The next one is Google reviews. I don't consistently do this, but I run competitions in the office, right? Or I'll just say, for every review you guys get over the next 2 days, I'll give you $10 off of your statement. Like, it's that important to me. Like, a review, to give someone $10 off of their statement. If I got 100 reviews, that would cost me $1,000. That 100 reviews is gold, right? And so and on the note of reviews, this is just kind of a side tidbit. We got 5 minutes, right, Choco? Yeah. As a side tidbit, like, even our new realtors get reviews, and they've never sold anything in real estate. And that might come with a little controversy for some of you, but I say to people, like, when you apply for a job with your resume, you don't just put your work history there. You also put your volunteer history. You put your hobbies and your interests, that sort of thing, on a resume. And I say to my new realtors, you can go out and you can get character reviews. Go out and get like friends and family who know you and trust you and like you, to say, they don't have to say like, oh, he sold me a house, but get some reviews just based on your character. Popeyes and CMAs, if you guys, I can't remember the coach's name, but Popeyes, the idea of getting little gifts together and stopping by regularly at our office meetings. I'm forecasting the next, last one was Mother's Day, now we have Canada's Day coming up. Like, what are you doing to get little gifts put together and stopping by and visiting your sphere of influence? And as an office, we can create little parties within our brokerage. We can start to like organize the material list and build out these little pop by gifts, or we can just create them and, again, sell them back to our agents, right? You can say, hey guys, I have 100 pop by gifts here. They cost me $3 each. I'll sell them to you guys at cost, and that gives you something to go and do that. I think we're on number 7. We're going to get through this, Choco. We got 3 of the best ones saved for last. So the number 8 is start another Moxie Works website. So I started back in December of 2021. I bought a team website through Century 21, and I started a website called OntarioFarmsandLand.com. And we become, if you were to search, anyone in the room right now could search Ontario Farms for Sale, and we organically rank around number 8 in all of Ontario for Ontario Farms for Sale. And so that's an opportunity that we can do with the platform that's provided by Century 21. Another one is providing staging items for your office. You can have canvases all decorated throughout your office. You can have fake plants that you purchase from IKEA. IKEA delivers. You can have and small decor items, and just have them in your office, and encourage your agents that when they get a new listing, that they should come in the office and they should pick up a couple of decor items. They can sign them out. You know, it's going to cost you a couple $1,000s as an owner out of your pocket to have this stuff around, and some of it's going to get damaged, some of it's going to go missing. But if you can raise the bar and have your agents raise the bar when it comes to listing, that's going to reflect well on them, and it's going to drive the business up. And then the last thing that we do is we use our space at our brokerage as an outreach to our community. So it's space permitted. We have the Probus Club. We've had dental associations come in and have catering because of our offices being kind of a modern and a nice office, and it's private. That's our ability to reach out to the community and allow our space to be used by others in the community. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. Those are great top 10 marketing ideas that people can take. And, you know, I think the theme, as I'm listening to you, I think the theme is make it easy for your realtors, right? Because I think a lot of times people are like, oh, we don't want to spend the money. We don't want to spend the money, but it's not really that. It's, as you just proved, it's if you make it easy for me, I'll spend the money. I'll invest into my business. I'll invest into being more successful. But it's just, you know, it takes time. Sometimes I don't know how to do it, especially when it comes to YouTube ads, you know, and some of the stuff on Facebook. And so anyways, I just think that's great. And thank you so much for sharing those top 10 ideas with us. You know, just before we wrap up, just wanted to ask you a quick question. What has been your biggest challenge that you've ever faced, and how, and that ended up being a blessing in disguise?
I think we talked about this earlier. We're talking about real estate, right?
Okay, you tell us what you want.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in my personal life, I'm not sure I want to go there right now. But as a realtor, I have a really good answer for you. Coming from being a producing agent to starting Century 21 in studio, I made the conscious decision to become a non-selling broker, and not because I didn't like selling real estate. I was good at it. I sold a lot of it. In my last year, I with my partner, I did over 100 transactions. You can equate what that would look like in dollar bills today. Becoming a non-selling broker was a competitive advantage for me against the other brokerages in the area who have a lot of competing brokers. So my first 2 years was extremely difficult, like as we grew the agent base. But being a non-selling broker enabled me to earn the loyalty of agents, and also enabled me to provide a lot of support to the team. So if I was out selling properties and enlisting appointments, I certainly couldn't answer the phone the amount that I do now. And so that it was an extreme challenge that has obviously turned into a blessing now that we have 35 realtors, and we're really very much winning as a brokerage. And we're almost getting to the point where I can step back even as a broker of record and put somebody else in that place for me. And who knows, maybe I'll go and sell real estate again.
Well, you're doing a tremendous job. So we really appreciate you being the best brand ambassador out there, specifically in the Owen Sound, Grey Bruce area. Mike, how can people get a hold of you if they have some more questions, or maybe they want to brainstorm with you? Who knows? How can they get a hold of you?
You know my email. I use it as all of you ought to use it as well. It's mike.seiler@c21.ca, or you can call me at 519-375-SOLD.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. And again, thank you for sharing your top marketing secrets so other people can help to grow their brokerage. You're either listening to this podcast live, or you're listening to this recording on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or you went to the century21franchise.ca website. Century 21 is one of the world's largest real estate brand in the world, with presence in 86 countries. And in Canada, we're 11,000 plus strong, and we're looking to align ourselves with like-minded individuals who share the same vision to what the future of brokerages looks like. So if you're interested in growth opportunities, please feel free to reach out to me or my colleague Gary Zalepa. You can reach us both through the century21franchise.ca website, or you can, of course, connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and I'd love to set up a chat with you. So again, Mike, thank you so much, and thank all of you for being with us today.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.